welcome to our very first episode of Core Motivations podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Conley, and I am also a certified Enneagram coach and a Symbis marriage coach. So, it gets me thinking, you probably want to know, what is this podcast about? Well, that's a great question. We're going to be exploring the ways in which you can learn to explore a deeper meaning of self care and self love. And we're going to do this through several forms of exploration. But the main tool we'll be using is Enneagram, where we're going to take a deep dive into each Enneagram's types and their motivations. So we have four motivations, which are core fear, core desire, core weakness, and core longing. We're also going to experience a typing session, hopefully many through each Enneagram type, and will help individuals discover their Enneagram type. We'll also look at a biblical perspective as they relate to the Enneagram, and then we'll bring in other podcast information from some of my favorites. I'll name drop later, and we'll strategize on ways to live on our healthy side, develop self-care methods, and ultimately learn to self-love. So, when I was a kid, it was often implied by my family things like, oh, you're cute and you're the first girl in the family, but truth is that I was always going to be in the background compared to my brother. And being a boy, especially in our family, this was true. He got the best education and the best opportunities, where I was taught how to clean the house and bake and wash laundry and so on. Although the baking has really come in handy. Well, maybe not so much baking, but I would like to say that I'm a home chef. But, nowhere in my upbringing did I see examples of self love and self care. It actually didn't come until much later in life. And now, being in the second chapter of my life, yes, I'm in my 50s and I'm learning to celebrate that and celebrate myself. But what I'm learning is that my worth is in truth and remembering who I am in Christ. And so, when I was in my late 30s, I went to this conference, and I was given this paper by this lady that I had met there, and on it was all the things that demonstrated the I ams. Has anybody heard of that? I ams? Well, it has stayed with me to this day. And while it hasn't always been something that I walked in, it is lately, and it has definitely brought value and a reminder that I am made for something greater. I want to read to you what was on this paper. And now remember, these are all things that demonstrate what I am. So I am chosen. I am a new creation. I'm forgiven. I'm redeemed. I'm blessed. I'm called by God. I'm victorious. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And I'm set free. And then on the bottom of this very tattered piece of paper, because I've had it for quite a while, is a quote which is attributed to Brennan Manning, where it says this: define yourself radically as one beloved by God. This is the true self. Every other identity is an illusion. I don't know about you, but this quote sure blew me away, and it is still true today. But gosh, maybe this is a lot, and maybe even impossible to understand. Or maybe it's even uncomfortable to hear things about God. So I just want to invite you to feel free to insert your spiritual belief as you journey to discover self-love and self-care. So, just a couple of things I wanted to let you know that this podcast is for informational purposes only, and it does not constitute professional advice by any means. And the views expressed by our guests are their own and not necessarily reflect the views of the podcast host, that's me, or sponsors. So join me each week as we dive into all things Enneagram, self-care ideas, self-love patterns and rhythms, share ideas from other reputable authors, doctors, and my favorite podcasters. And I just want to say thank you to you for being with us today on Core Motivations Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Core Motivations_coach. And we would love for you to give us a follow and share right here on the podcast that you're listening to and over on Instagram. So until next time, and as always, I'm rooting for you.